What's going on, my beautiful family, my YouTube family? It's your boy Philly, aka Philly Boy Wonder, aka your mama favorite Africa. Y'all know what the goddamn vibes is. We back with another reaction video. Adam22, no jumper fall off. Let's get into this, bitch.
So one of the hottest topics on my channel used to be the downfall of Adam22 and the dismantling of his brand,
had a crazy
No Jumper.
fall off, I ain't gonna lie.
Basically, No Jumper completely imploded back in 2023, not only losing some of their most popular talents, but also creating this never-ending beef between Adam and the at the time recently departed.
Paid for the funeral as soon as it happened, just because.
Oh.
Now after this, Adam would look at his brands in a completely different light.
I didn't set down any boundaries in the beginning. It was just like, here's a table, here's these cameras, here's these 4 million subscribers, do whatever the f you guys want.
And while people enjoyed the content farm that No Jumper had become, he had held the claim that he was actually losing money on these new shows that he had created, and obviously the talent that he had hired.
Bro, they used to have so much motion, bro, and I think they kind of just like flew too close to the sun. Because like, I remember back in the day when it was purely about, and they're probably going to talk about this in the video, when it was purely about hip-hop interviews. That was the main thing they were focused on. Was like, yo, we going to talk about the underground, up-and-coming rising artists. Because that's what the thing as a whole was based about. Was like, hey, how are we going to empower these young artists that are on the way up? Let's tap in with the youngins and talk about music. But then it became all this OnlyFans, and like the minute that Adam22 got into porn and just started going down that route was when everything just fell through, bro. I'm telling you.
After this, Adam seemed extra anxious to cash out and completely changed the way that he was operating, hiring some new talent while retaining some other guys, and really just trying to keep No Jumper's head above water. And I feel like the real desperation would not start until his wife Lena announced that she would be appearing in an adult video with corn star Jason Love.
Like I
Keep
said,
in mind, this came right on the heels of her and Adam getting married.
That's
and of
insane.
course, we all know how that thing ended. And with Adam completely leaning into this arc of his career, even calling himself the king of all cups, aka the guys with the special little chairs in the corner of the room, I actually predicted that this situation would cause permanent damage to his online reputation.
Oh my God.
Do you think that you f***ed her better than Adam did?
Well, obviously, yes.
Which, looking back, is exactly what happened. It's like Adam entered a never-ending inferno of getting roasted online.
Bro, the worst part is, it's like, and look at this look at this screenshot, big fan. Oh my God. The crazy part is they got a freaking kid, yo. That's the worst part of this whole equation. You know what? Adam, he's a human being. He can go do whatever the fuck he want to do on his weird shit. But the fact that a kid who did not ask to be born into this earth and is going to go through the school system, and I guarantee every other week is probably going to get presented a showcase of what his mom looks like getting plowed by Jason. I'm just saying, it's not.
So of course he
it's
would
not
double
cool.
down on the humiliation.
That's
and
why
the attention
OnlyFans girls
by hosting
can
a
never
web
be
show,
wifeys.
giving away his wife to the man of his choice.
We're gonna get you out of the situation.
Right, but the whole idea is that we're gonna do it together.
Just went there and just pulled my pants down and showed my French baguette to Lena and Adam.
French baguette.
I don't think he wanted.
Now this pretty much ended the same way, only this time Adam would actually cross swords with dude. Now since then Adam had not really been worth talking about. Honestly, his antics just got stale after he showed up on stream wearing a G-string.
What?
I'm gonna put on this thong and I'm gonna go into the news and I'm gonna say hi to everybody.
And then he was quote-unquote acting like he was shooting a gay scene with none other than Jack Doherty's brother.
What?
Something he would later reveal was apparently an April Fool's prank.
To troll the world into believing that I am a homosexual.
But honestly, at that point out,
where is the bit? Where is the April Fools? Where is the funniness that comes out of that? If you want to be gay, brother, be gay. It's 2025. We don't judge. But what's the whole pretending to be gay for? I'm trying to understand where the joke is in that.
I don't think anyone really cared enough to be tricked. And now apparently Adam has been struggling financially, or at least No Jumper. Recently they were actually sued by 2 former employees at his company who alleged some sort of discriminatory termination. And then Adam even promoted an alleged crypto rug pull called Coin. And keep in mind, this is something that he was dead against in the past, yet he was completely unapologetic when CoffeeZilla questioned what the hell he was doing.
Yep, there it is.
I reached out. I said, hey, you shouldn't run a coin. It's lame, and you're gonna scam or get scammed. Then Adam22 says, how else am I gonna afford all this galaxy gas?
And that really made me wonder, like, why would Adam feel the need to scam his own fans for at most a couple $100,000? And now we might finally have the answer to that, as around a month later, several of his podcast hosts and friends have been detained in a large-scale gang sweep, and even Adam himself had some sort of contact with the feds as well.
I made it 41 years into this life before I had involvement, conversation with federal agents.
And now Adam made this video claiming that No Jumper has gone completely broke, but some actually believe this is to avoid paying possible legal fees, or at the very least that he is lying with an agenda. Alright guys, so here we are in the actual video where Adam claims that No Jumper is going broke. Apparently they're having some sort of logistical issues, and some other unexpected expenses have come up that are basically killing his business.
Like in the video, it's funny to me.
There's something that I've been hiding from you guys. No Jumper is going broke. I know that might sound crazy. Between both of our YouTube channels last month, we got over 25 million views. We're doing well on Facebook and Snapchat. We employ quite a few of the hottest content creators on the West Coast, and we pump out an insane amount of content on a weekly basis.
Yeah, 25 million views is really nothing to scoff at, especially when most of them are like really long form views. I mean, I gotta estimate that off AdSense alone, they're clearing at least 6 figures, but you guys have to remember that No Jumper has like a massive operation. I think they had purchased like a $5 million building back in 2022 or 2023. And at the time, I praised them for doing this. I always think it's cool when people can make like a media conglomerate like that. I thought he was going to be like his own little version of Barstool, but I think Adam witnessed firsthand how quickly you can just start burning through money simply because you own this insane building.
By doing dumb shit too.
A podcast, like, do you really need all of that? Like, I get that it looks cool. I get that you want it to be like maybe the next Barstool, but that business model, especially in this economy, is just really rough.
How could we be going broke? Well, let's start here. We expanded too much during COVID at just about the exact moment that our revenue streams all took a hit. We hired a whole bunch of editors and other employees, and we bought a huge office building that cost us almost $4 million, thinking that the growth that we were experiencing during the pandemic was going to continue.
And this is a problem that a lot of businesses made during the pandemic. They thought that because people were at home and people were feeling good spending their stimmy money, you know, back before inflation, that, oh, these sales are going to last forever. And now that the economy has essentially flipped on its head.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. Look, at that time when them stimmy checks was hitting, bro, I was broke. I was a youngin' who just moved to LA, and I'm not gonna lie, that 1-2 bands was real nice. I mean, look, I wasn't no business owner. I wasn't like, you know, I wasn't somebody who was owning a whole operation where like that money was just kind of whatever. It was like a lot to me at the time, you know what I mean? And I didn't have a lot of responsibilities besides paying my rent and paying for gas and groceries, you know what I mean? So that stimmy was nice. I can't lie, that felt real good.
A lot of these businesses just cease
for them
to
though
exist.
might be a
Our
different
YouTube
story.
numbers, which had doubled or even tripled, gradually returned to normal. Our Snapchat and Facebook numbers, which had exploded during COVID, sometimes even hitting 6 figures a month, shrank by about 80% or more. Our Patreon, which was
yeah, I mean, at that time, I was getting contacted by a couple of reps from Snapchat that wanted to take what I was doing on YouTube and basically make a series, you know, for the Snapchat stories or whatever. And they were telling me, like, oh, we can offer you double your YouTube revenue. Apparently, the numbers were insane. Almost like when Twitter first announced their Twitter Blue program, they were paying out a lot of money. But over time, the model was just not sustainable once you keep letting more and more people in.
Was absolutely killing it for a year or two when we were doing uncensored, aka nude interviews with up-and-coming superstars.
What the fuck? Yo, even we got the same reaction. I'm like, when did that happen?
Stars like Kazumi and Sky Bree fell off quite a bit with the launch of Plug Talk and a decreased interest in seeing us interview stars.
I mean, let's be honest for a second, guys. No one is watching Korn so that they can know about the girl's personality. No one's saying, oh, I wonder where she wants to get taken for a date. I wonder how she got into this industry. Was there trauma involved? Of course. And the other thing to me is there really that many people out there that want to see Adam getting busy on camera? Like, I get that his girl is like the focal point of the Korn business that they do, but at some point aren't these people going to be like, yo, we're sick of Adam. We don't want to see him on that orange couch.
I ain't watching no Adam.
As a matter of fact, if you've ever paid for one of his films, I'm looking at you completely sideways.
You might recall that the channel took quite a hit when approximately 8 of our hosts left the platform in March of 2023. Although we've definitely largely recovered and managed to build up a very healthy roster of talent since then, that certainly took a toll on our business for a while as well.
Yeah, I mean, they did recover pretty nicely from all that backlash.
But we were still solidly profitable. That is, until the last few months where we experienced...
Okay, I'm gonna keep it a stat, bro. It looks like he's reading off a teleprompter. Like, it looks like he's literally reading off a teleprompter like he's the fucking president giving a message about how to prepare for emergency evacuation. Like, he's not really, I don't know. There's just, I'm telling y'all, man, there's just something so inauthentic and weird about Adam's energy. I've always thought that, and it's just kind of gradually gotten more worse for me. I've literally seen it. I don't know. It's just, it's interesting. But I can't lie though, at the same time, I am very surprised to see that they are going so broke. Because in my mind, like, I remember I was a huge, I mean, I don't know if I'd say fan, but I was definitely a watcher of No Jumper for a long period of time. Like, 'cause all my favorite artists would go on there. It was like the poppin' media platform outside of, like, what else? I guess, like a DJ Vlad, DJ Academics, and, like, other people, I guess. And it was cool because I just felt like it was a lot of underground shit, which is why it was dope at the time. And I don't know, in hindsight, looking back, I never would have thought they would got to this point. I thought they'd be kind of like a Lyrical Lemonade and so on, where they would just keep growing and keep establishing and keep breaking out into different branches. But like I said, though, I think the reason why everything fell off is literally because it just went down the porn route. That's it.
Major L's that we never could have seen coming.
Okay,
First,
well, we all saw them
lost
coming.
the No Jumper Instagram. After almost 10 years of building it up and essentially no strikes on our account, we got taken down one day and we still have absolutely no idea why. We were bringing in a very solid amount of cash monthly that was keeping us afloat via selling sponsored posts on the account.
You know, I do always wonder if those type of Instagram promotions actually lead to real growth for an artist. I honestly feel like you'd be better off trying to do something a little bit unique and trying to get your music trending that way through some sort of like sick little reel, sick little short video.
I agree.
In addition to that, we have been hit with a bullshit lawsuit from a former employee. Now, essentially everything in this lawsuit is completely fictional, and every lawyer that I've spoken to about it has described this as basically an extortion attempt, but it still cost us a ton of money already, and it's expected to cost us many hundreds of thousands of dollars to see this through to completion.
God damn. I mean, yeah, I've heard that those legal fees will drain you quick. I mean, I would think if they're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on this, it must be somewhat serious. And yeah, this is apparently the
They trying
court
to take
case
them
right
brothers
here.
down.
And so yeah, apparently this Riley Garcia and this Yuri guy, who I think I remember, are suing No Jumper, Adam, somebody named Josh, and somebody named Nicholas. So yeah, they're basically saying that No Jumper and Adam right here are responsible for some sort of acts of discrimination, harassment, and retaliation. I mean, honestly, for all the shoddy things that were going on in No Jumper, like even before all these individuals were employed, I feel like this shit could turn into a damn class action lawsuit. Like on some Surviving No Jumper shit. Allegedly.
No
Either
money.
way, I think this is
That's
the guy
funny.
Yuri. They probably don't want to show his face for legal reasons, but
It's insane to me that a person that we did so much for can just invent some grievances out of thin air and cost us this much money as a result, but somehow that's our reality and we have to fight this rather than just give in to this piece of shit.
I mean, yeah, because if you give in to one person, it kind of sets the precedent, like, oh, everyone come sue me now, I'm just going to be handing out settlements.
So as a result of all these circumstances, we are making some changes. Over the last few months, we laid off multiple employees in an attempt to reduce our expenses as much as possible. We closed down our store on Melrose,
Damn.
and we're in the early stages of selling our current warehouse and moving into a smaller space. To be
Damn.
honest, aside from the layoffs, which sucked, I'm pretty happy about a lot of these changes. I've realized that I should have paid more attention to DJ Vlad and kept my overhead as low as possible, particularly in terms of staff and location.
Well, yeah, I'm sure that massive building that I guess he bought turned into an insane fucking headache. And I would say the only saving grace here is that
No
really
money,
only No
bro, it's
Jumper
crazy.
could go bankrupt. Like, it's hard for me to see them coming after his personal assets if he has everything set up correctly.
Confident that once we get the building sold, we'd be in a pretty solid financial position again as a business. I've got another business in the form of Plug Talk, and I've got a pretty decent investment portfolio on a personal level. It was a big decision to share this stuff with you guys, but at a certain point I realized that I've been honest with the world about just about everything in my life over the years, and it felt wrong to keep all this stuff that we've been dealing with in secret.
Adam, come on, bro. Be honest about the rug pull, then.
I know what you're thinking. What can you do to help? Well,
wasn't thinking
I do have
that.
some
I
ideas,
wasn't
which
thinking
I'll
that
sort
either.
into 3 categories here: free, cheap, and generous.
Oh, here we
Free.
go. Adam's about to ask the audience for some money to pay those legal fees.
Yeah, I'm good,
We're
brother.
really trying to get serious about embracing our members here on YouTube.
Yeah, how do you guys feel about memberships on YouTube? Have you joined anyone's channel? I'm always getting emails encouraging me to do that type of thing, but I don't know, it's just hard for me to see someone in my audience spending like the same price as Netflix or something like that, just so they can watch an extra piece or like an uncensored version of my content.
$5 a month, we've got a ton of awesome benefits, including being able to watch all of our interviews free of censorship and bleeped words before they're released to the public. Members only chat for all of our live stream content.
I mean, yeah, I guess if you're like a huge time fan and you really want to be in like the members only chat, that's the only reason I can see doing something like this. And I'll also say, like, if you're getting endless entertainment value from somebody and it's pretty much all free, yes, I can see you throwing them like $5 a month.
And for those of you who have more money to spend, we're introducing a mega premium $100 tier to our memberships that will get your name added to the
$100 a
Why?
month? $1,200
Why would anybody spend $100 a month on No Jumper?
$100 a year?
That's
Like
insane.
1 month of rent for a lot of people. But hey, you get those producer credits.
and it will also get you consistent advice and opinions on your music submissions with one free submission per month and discounted additional songs.
Honestly, if you're a young up-and-coming artist and you have $100 to spend on your career, this is not where I would put it. I remember back in the day,
buy Google paid
would always
ads,
do these like listening
videographer
to
and editor
live streams where maybe like 10, 15,000 people were tuned in and they were just playing different people's music who would send them $100.
I like it. I want to.
It's not bad.
I want to hang out with him and be depressed.
And I really want to know if one single person or one single song actually blew up from doing that. Because when you're a broke artist, $100 isn't just like chump change.
much.
I just think you're still much better off trying to do like a Facebook or Instagram, maybe even a TikTok campaign. And you can at least be a lot more precise with what type of demographic you're going for.
Bro, the best kind of marketing. Let me give y'all some game right now. Because I've literally shot videos and done promos and marketing for artists. And have gotten people millions of views. Personally, I don't mean to brag, but I'm just saying, the best kind of marketing that you could do as an artist or just anybody, a business owner, a dancer, whatever it is literally by just making content on social media by yourself, right? And then maybe if you want to invest some money, sure, invest in some paid ads on Google, right? Don't do the Instagram boost shit. That's a scam. It don't work. But maybe do like paid ads on Google, for example, targeted paid ads, right? But even that, I wouldn't recommend doing until you really have some motion. But the best kind of content I've seen time and time again from so many different kinds of people is literally just making unique creative content, whether you're in your room, you're in a basketball court, you're wherever you're at, and just doing it consistently. When I started my clips page for this account, I just made, this is actually a perfect way to do some marketing promo for myself right now. I just made a Philly Boy Wonder clips account on Instagram, literally on March 7th. So we are approaching a couple days from now to be an exact month since I started that page. And on Instagram alone, I have 500,000 views and 300 followers so far. And I've had it for literally almost a month. That's what I'm saying, bro. And all I've been doing is clipping my videos, clipping my story times, clipping my reactions, clipping the content that I make on here for free, and posting on socials to help grow my page. That's marketing, brother. I'm not paying no extra bread. I'm not going out to go buy or pay for a videographer. I'm not buying no boosts, no ads, no fake shit, nothing. I'm literally just making creative content or clipping my own content. So it's like when people want to talk about marketing, just be creative and just do it yourself. That's all you gotta do.
There's my update. I've been kind of thinking about telling you guys about all this stuff for a while. I'm not begging for sympathy or anything like that. I'm just being realistic about owning a media business.
And honestly, guys, for once, I don't really see this as something to really clown at him about. This is something that a lot of businesses all over the country are experiencing right now. And I do think it's really easy to expand when you feel like you have a really good thing going. You feel like the community loves it. Like, there was this barbecue trailer nearby, and they were like a hit classic in South Austin. They go and try and move into a huge brick and mortar, and it just completely fucks everything up. The service was bad. They were always running out of food, stealing tips from the wait staff. It just ended up being this huge shit show. And within like 4 months, this previously really popular food trailer that was making a ton of money went completely bankrupt. Even back a couple of years ago, I thought about making like essentially a smaller version of what his office was, where people could come in if they want and rent the space out and do podcasts, but I thought mainly I would use the space as an office. But then as I started renting out spaces and talking to the people that, you know, own these type of media places, I realized that it was essentially a money pit. Like, I remember I paid like $400 to shoot at this place for 2 hours, a podcast with my buddy Danny. And I remember in the main office, this guy had a little TV that had his like whole booking schedule up, and that shit was free as a fucking bird. No one was booking that spot, and it was actually pretty pretty nice.
Simple
And yeah, I
is
just think
better.
in this type of economy, it's really hard to run this type of business model. Honestly, it's been a really long time since I've watched any no jumper content. But hey, someone's
here.
still watching, apparently 25 million views a month, so I think that they're gonna be alright. Y'all let me know down below if you think this is really about something else, if you think that Adam is trying to hide this money away.
Yeah, I think they definitely are going a little broke, but I do think they'll bounce back. I mean, I'm kind of curious.
But as always, I want to thank you
I'm kind of
guys
curious
for
to see how
watching
many.
today.
God damn it! I'm kind of curious to see how many views No Jumper got on that video. Actually, they just posted. I'm assuming No Jumper is going broke. Is it not even here? Oh my God! I mean, sure, they post so much to where they probably yeah. I mean, look, they don't get nearly the amount of views they used to get. Actually, no, these are alright. I mean, I think they'll be alright. I think they'll bounce back. I mean, it definitely does suck to see them go broke, you know, but I think they'll be able to figure it out as long as they're just not doing no scam shit. But yeah, y'all, Adam22, I definitely think the downfall is because of the OnlyFans shit. And I think if he just gets his morals back in check, I think he'll be okay. I think he'll be okay. I do got to give it to him. I can give him the slightest respect in this regard, where he is coming on the internet and telling people he's broke. Most people will not do that. Most people do not have the balls to be like, hey y'all, I'm broke, my business is going downhill, I gotta figure this shit out, help me out. They're a lot of people's pride and egos are way too large for that. They're gonna lie, they're gonna do some more scam shit, they're gonna act like they still bossing up. It's just, I gotta give it to him, you know. I real recognize real. When he does some real shit, I gotta recognize it. But yeah, y'all, let me know what y'all think in the comments. Y'all think they're making a redemption? Y'all think they're coming back? I don't know. I don't really care, no offense. But we'll have to find out. See y'all next time on the next episode of Dragon Ball Z. Like, comment, subscribe, baby.